లేటెన్సీ చెక్ చేస్తా స్పీడ్ వస్తుందా లైవ్
ఆడియో డైరెక్ట్గా దీనికి కనెక్ట్ ఉంటుందా?
దీనికి ఉంటుంది.
ఇప్పుడు లైవ్ దేని నుంచి వెళ్తుందా? దీని త్రూ వెళ్తుందా? అరే పిచ్చోడా, అరే ఈ ల్యాప్టాప్ ఛార్జింగ్ ఉంటుంది.
లింక్ నాకు వాట్సాప్ వస్తుందా? అది కూడా ఈ సర్చ్ కొడితే మన వస్తుందా?
ఫస్ట్ వస్తుంది.
పేరేంద్రా
అనురాగ్ ఆర్టిఫిషియల్
అరే ఇలా చూడరు కదరా, అది క్లాగ్ వస్తుంది.
అకౌంట్ కనిపించట్లేదు కూడా. నేను సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయి.
వేరే స్క్రీన్ ఇక్కడ స్క్రీన్ ఇక్కడ
ఇది కనిపిస్తుందా?
అది ఇప్పటికే స్క్రీన్ వేరే ఎంత తక్కువ వీడియో ఆగిపోయింది కదా. వీడియో కూడా వస్తుంది. ఏమొస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు? అదే ఈ స్క్రీన్ ఓబిఎస్ ఈ స్క్రీన్ డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది. ఈ క్యామ్ ఒకటి వస్తుంది లేదు, అదే అంటున్నా. ఈ స్క్రీన్ చాలా స్లో. అది ఒక టైం ఉంటుంది కదా, స్లో అని అంత వస్తుంది. పెన్నీర్ ఏదో
ఏంది లే బ్రో.
చెప్పాలి. సరే అందరూ సెటిల్ అయిపోతే మనం స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం 10 కల్లా స్టార్ట్ అయిపోతాం ఇక్కడ కూర్చొని రివీల్ ఒకసారి మునీష్ మీ అన్ని సెట్ చేసి ఫోల్డ్ చూసుకో ఏవేవి రా ఫస్ట్ ఎవరు సంజన కదా ఇది సంజన ఫస్ట్ తర్వాత DS2 తర్వాత
ఫస్ట్ DS2 తర్వాత సంజన నాకు ఐడియా ఉంది బ్రో
DS2 ఇది చెప్తారు ఫస్ట్ ఓకే తర్వాత సంజన తర్వాత 40
నేను చూస్తాను
అర్జున్ పవర్ కంప్లీట్
దేనికి చేసిన
మనోజ్ ఒకవేళ హెచ్ఓడి లేట్ వస్తే అది మార్చుకో.
అరే ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ వాళ్ళంటే ఏం చేయక అంతేనా
అయిపోయింది
ఎవరు
ఏమో అన్నీ తీసి పెట్టేసి వెళ్ళిపోతా అక్కడ నువ్వు ఇక్కడ కూర్చుంటావు మా క్లాస్
దీప్స్ కాదు ఫోటోస్ వస్తారు
మా
క్లాస్
ఎక్కడ మీ క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ స్టార్ట్ అయిపోవాలా
అందరికి లేట్ అయిందంటే అందులో ఇంట్రడక్షన్ అయిపోయింది కదా అంటున్నారు.
చార్జ్ అవుతుంది
పైకి రావరా
ఇక్కడ లైట్స్
దాన్ని అట్లా వేక్ దీని కింద ఏమైనా వెయిట్
నా పేపర్
అంజలి దగ్గర ఉంది. అంజలి దగ్గర అంజలి హెచ్ఓడి
అక్కడ ఎందుకు పెట్టిర్రు
నువ్వు నీ దగ్గర పెట్టు.
సరే ఇంకా వాళ్ళు వెయిట్ చేద్దాం అంటున్నారు.
నేను అటు
అంతే నువ్వు నేను పిలుస్తాను రా. Respected faculty members and dear fellow students, a warm welcome to all of you at the A Square I Club events on Data Science with Python. I'm Manoj, a student of third year AIML and also the marketing coordinator for the A Square I Club. Today, we have organized this event specifically for the students like you to dive into the exciting world of data science and its integration with the Python programming language. Data science has become a significant field with numerous opportunities across various industries. Python has emerged as a powerful tool for data analysis and machine learning.
Hey everyone, I'm Akshita and I'm equally thrilled to be here with you today. Just like Manoj mentioned, I'm also a student like you, passionate about data science. Python has become a popular choice among students because of its user friendly syntax, extensive libraries, and versatility in handling data.
During this event, we have prepared a range of activities, sessions, and workshops that will help you grasp the fundamental concepts of data science with Python. We want to equip you with the practical skills and knowledge needed to leverage data and make informed decisions.
Absolutely. Our sessions will cover various aspects of data science, starting from data pre-processing, where you will learn how to clean, manipulate, and prepare data sets for analysis. We'll also explore exploratory data analysis, where you'll discover how Python libraries can reveal hidden patterns and trends within data.
Furthermore, we will introduce you to the exciting world of machine learning with Python. We will demonstrate how to build and train models that can make accurate predictions and classifications. You'll get hands-on experience with different machine learning algorithms and see how Python simplifies their implementation.
And don't worry, we have planned interactive workshops where you will have the opportunity to apply your newly acquired knowledge. Through coding exercises and practical examples, we'll guide you in using Python to handle data, build models, and evaluate their performances.
By the end of this event, we want you to feel confident in your understanding of data science with Python. Our goal is to improve you to explore your own data driven projects and inspire you to pursue further studies or careers in the existing field.
So let's come together and dive into the world of data science with Python. We hope you have a fantastic and enriching experience at this event. Thank you for joining us and let's kick off our journey into the incredible realm of data science.
Even start. Inform you. So we'll be informing our HOD speech as soon as the HOD arrives. Sorry for the disturbance. So as we begin our journey into the world of data science with Python, let us take a moment to appreciate the collective enthusiasm and curiosity present in the room. Together, we can unlock the immense potential of data and contribute to solving real-world challenges. Let's make the most of this opportunity to learn, collaborate, and inspire each other.
So, so without further ado, let's embark on this exciting event. We have an engaging lineup of sessions, workshops, and hands-on activities prepared for you. We encourage you to actively participate, ask questions, and interact with our speakers and fellow attendees. Your engagement will make this event truly remarkable and beneficial for all.
Once again, a heartfelt welcome to everyone present here today. Let's make this event a memorable one as we explore the fascinating world of data science of Python. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to invite two exceptional individuals, Sanjana and Monish, to initiate the session of this event. Let us all give a warm round of applause to Sanjana and Monish as they grace the stage and begin their session. Sanjana and Monish, the spotlight is yours.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very delighted to see a set of interested people here. I am Sanjana from third year AIMLB, also the vice president of A Square I Club. So, before getting into what data science actually is, many of you have already heard the word data, right? You know what is data? What is it? Anyone? Yeah, absolutely. Any other answers? Okay, so data is something that is collected, analyzed, shared, hacked, bought, or sold. So when we generally hear data for the first time, you would think it as a number, but it actually involves more things to it, like you have videos, text, audios, documents, etc. So if that was data, then what is data science? Data science is a study of large quantity of data, which involves extracting some meaningful insights or information from raw, structured, and unstructured data. So there is a lot of excitement when it comes to data science because drawing huge insights is not a joke, but that's what something that data science does. Many companies are using this data science methods to build predictive models that forecast future events on the basis of your historical data. Like you can do various analysis on like says for example like sales forecasting or risk analysis or any other customer analysis, which is very advantageous for a company for its development. So now let's assume that you are given a data science problem. So just think, how would you actually solve it? So you have 5 steps involved in it. So they would be as follows: read the data, process and clean the data, summarize it, visualize it, and derive insights. So let us dive deep into all of them. First, reading the data. Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. The first step is to read the data. So you have to just start off by having the data and like that is related to your problem statement. So you get the data onto your platform, your programming platform, and the next step would be processing it and cleaning it. Since data is not always clean, it is important that you remove the incorrect data and the missing values too. For example, the incorrect values may look like this, or the missing values, which are important because that is when your data set is a good data set. The third would be summarization. After the first 2 steps, you would end up with a structured data which you can work with. The simple way of doing any kind of summarization is by normal calculations, that is mean, median, mode, on any of the columns. Next is visualization. This is more on the pictorial side, where this is more on the pictorial side. This can be treated as the creative aspect of a data scientist. Different types of visualizations are possible on same kind of data. We can form graphs, pie charts, or any other plots using visualizations. Since visualizations are in pictorial form, they create a good impact on your brain, and it is very easy to understand. The last step would be deriving insights. It's important to get observations and insights from your data set. So this is where ML comes into picture, where you use the different ML algorithms to do this process. So you might like get it out, like there are various languages that are available like C, Java, JavaScript, C++, and all. But why did we particularly select Python? The first most important thing is that Python has a shorter learning curve, and it easily combines with any of the cloud platforms, so it in the sense becomes a good tool, and it is also easy to program. And the second most important thing would be it contains ML algorithms which are already pre-coded in them, so you can simply import the algorithms and run them. coming to Spider, Spider is an IDE which stands for Integrated Development Environment, which allows the developers to code. We have different Python IDEs like PyCharm or Visual Studio Code, and of course Spider. But why did we opt for Spider here? So Spider is specially developed for Python and data science. It includes code editors with better error highlighting method and code debugging and integrated documents. It is available. It is available as an.
So 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to introduce the distinguished profile of our esteemed head of the department, Dr. A. Mallikarjun Reddy. Dr. Reddy holds a PhD in computer science and engineering and has been a guiding force in our department, driving innovation and academic excellence. His vast experiences and expertise have greatly influenced our academic curriculum and research initiatives. To provide you with more insights into Dr. Reddy's remarkable accomplishments, I would like to invite Adityan to come forward and share a brief profile of our esteemed HOD.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to take a moment to introduce the HOD of AI department, Dr. A. Mallikarjun Reddy, sir, working as associate professor and head of AI department, Anurag University. Sir. Having a total experience of 15 years in academics under various capacities, BTech Anna University, MTech in NIT Calcutta, PhD in JNT UK Kakinada. He has also received a Best Teacher Award and Best Paper Award. To his credit, he has won German patent with one grand patent, 2 books, 30 journal publications, and also presented more than 20 papers in various international conferences. He also contributed as a speaker for various faculty development programs on teaching and learning practices. He is also a member of BOS, NAAC coordinator, IoT research wing coordinator, and also a member of various professional bodies like IAENG, CSTA, IFERP, and IRED. He is serving as an active review of peer-reviewed international journals such as Soft Computing, Purge Computer Science, JEET, and IFERP. He has been a part of advisory committee, convener, chair, co-chair, technical program committee, and organizing committee member for various international and national conferences. His areas of interest are digital image processing, the Internet of Things, data science, database, and security. He has also received certificates from Coursera, NPTEL, in various courses, and currently doing in specialization courses on machine learning and Internet of Things. So, without further ado, I would like to invite our department HOD, Dr. A. Mallikarjun Reddy, sir, on the dais. Sir.
Good morning to all. Good morning to my dear students of data science. And I think the most of the student audience from data science, I know that second year CRC is also there, and NSS is also from data science. I think that 30 to 40% audience from data science, and fewer from CSC, and remaining members are third year AI students. Okay, good morning to all, and as well as AI coordinators, as well as team also. And you have to understand why that nowadays you observe that in 2019 onwards, why the AI and after that you can understand why AI came into the picture in the 2019. After that, the 2020 onwards, the data sciences came into the picture as well as artificial intelligence and machine learning came into the picture. You have to understand why you understand the deep learning, machine learning it started 1950s. Why it is booming, why it is rapidly growing. Please understand why you can, I'm expecting answer from the audience. Please understand the 2019, 2020 onwards, you are listening the buzzwords like you are the CSC, you are listening the buzzwords like artificial intelligence, machine learning and data science. Why? Why it is rapidly going? Why rapidly it is growing? The previously that if you understand last 10 years, 1 decade, you don't have that much like social media platforms you are using like you are using WhatsApp, you are using Facebook, you are using something. So much of data you are generating. Please understand so much of within a minute you are generating so much of data. Okay, that's why you want to process the data, you should require high-end machines. Now observe you are having that massive data storage available, high-end machines is available. Nowadays you are using deep learning. Nowadays you are using the data science also. And that is the one thing you have to understand. If you observe any department, CSC or anything, without data we can't do anything. That is the one thing. And this last year also the A Square I Club they continually conducted a number of events. Last academic year, they conducted 4 to 5 events. The first event is Git and GitHub. I request all the students, you don't have the Git and GitHub Git profile, please create it. What is the projects you're developing? You did any certification, please push that one. You're having the Department of AI, having the very good resource persons will be there. You can take help from A Square I Club coordinators as well as faculty coordinator, Dr. Daniel Witter. Based upon your request also, we are going to conduct one more time also. Git is very important. Like that profile is required. That's why last year also they conducted a number of workshops. The second workshop they conducted is Web3 Metaverse also conducted as well as Snap with VR also conducted. Based upon the continue of that series, this academic year we are starting with one good knowledge transfer session that is nothing but power of data science with spiders. Please understand. That's why I told previously also the data is without data we can't do anything. The data is there. That's why data science is came into the picture. Deep learning is also came into the picture. These sessions we are conducting. Why I'm calling as KTS means we are conducting the series of sections, series of session. This is the first capsule we are going to given. The first in this I think that 2 hours of workshop, 2.5 hours workshop. They planned very beautifully. If you observe the content also, the power of data science with Python as well as Spider also. The next, the some more speakers will be there. They are from AML B section. They'll continue within a frequently like they will take 2 weeks of time or 3 weeks of a time. Those please you continue with that series. We're going to plan 3 to 4 sessions. Please plan. And based upon that, the last session we are going to do with data visualization with Tableau. We are having most data will be there that we want to visualize means should require the tool also. That is the one thing. And finally, I congratulate the faculty coordinator, Daniel Witter, for continuous efforts and encourage the students. And I also congratulate the faculty coordinators that Mr. Monish and Sanjana and entire crew of A Square I Club. And I congratulate all the students of data science and CSC people also why you are attending this event. Thank you one and all. Have a fruitful event. Thank you.
So Linux is an sorry. really sorry. Spider is an open source version that is available in 5.4. It is supported across Mac, Windows, and Linux also. We would look into the appearance of Spider now. If you want to download Spider, you can just go to the website spider-ide.org and download it for free. This is what Spider looks like, the environment. It is split up into multiple windows. This is the editor, the upper window and the lower window. We'll discuss deep into it. First, coming to the editor, it's on the leftmost side of the environment. In the editor, you can write the lines of code and the comments you want to display. On the right at the bottom, we have a tab. This tab has two separate tabs again. The first tab in that would be the console, where the output would be displayed or the print statements would be displayed. And the second tab is the history, where you can view all your previously run commands and keep a track of all of them. And the next tab would be, window would be right above the console tab. In that, the first tab is the variable explorer, where you can view all the variables that you have been created when you execute a file. This again has 4 titles, where the first title is the name. The name displays all the names of the variable that you have created, and the type has the type of the data type, and size is the size you have used, the memory it takes, and value displays the corresponding variable value. And the next tab would be the files tab, where once you set your directory in the environment, the files existing in that directory would be shown here, which is much more easier to understand. And the next tab would be the plots. So while you're doing visualization, whatever plots you have been getting them or whichever ones you have created would be displayed here. And the last tab would be the help tab. So this contains documentations of any of the classes or functions or any of the libraries available in the environment. Next, we'll try to see how to set a directory here. Yeah, so this is what a a Spider environment looks like. So there are 3 ways to set a directory. You can go to the icon which looks like an open folder on the right side and the top. You can look here and just click on it, and there would be a pop-up. You can select any of the the file locations, and set the directory. This would be the easiest method to set the directory because you need not write any of the commands. And the Spider So I'll tell it again. There is this looks like a folder on the top of the right side, which looks like an open folder. Click on it, and you will have a pop-up. Select any of the directory you want, and that is how you set a directory. This is one of the easiest method. The second method is using the OS library. You can simply import the OS library and use the command os.chdr and give the path of the directory. Here chdr stands for changing the directory. And the third method would be using the simple cd command and also give the directory. The easiest method would be going for the icon because you have no writing of commands in that. And to create a file, we again have 2 methods. On the left side in the top, you can see a page that looks like folded onto the. So in the toolbar on the left side top, you'll be able to see a page that looks like folded on the right side. That if you just click on it, you can create a new file here. Just see. And there is another method of creating it is go to the file menu and click on new file. Or you can also use the shortcut, keyboard shortcut, that is Ctrl+N. And now let us write a few lines of code and try to understand how to save this file. So let us take two statements like a equal to 10 and b equal to 3. Let me run it, and you can see that in the variable explorer, there are two variables created, a and b, with its type, size, and value displayed. And how do you save this file? So go to files, you will be able to see three options over there: save, save all, and save as. The first option, save, would be generally used when you already have an existing file and you made some small changes in it and you want to save it. And save all is used when you have multiple files to save. And the third method to save it would be save as. This is generally used when you want to save a new file or you want to rename any file. So we have discussed. And now let us see how to execute a saved file. So there are four to five icons available here. So the first one would be a triangle, which is green in color. That is the run file. This is generally used to run an entire file all at a time. And the second would be to run a current cell of a file. And the third would be to run a file one line after the other. And the last would be to select any set of lines you want to execute. So now let us check the basic libraries that we use from Python to solve a data science problem. So the first one would be the NumPys, which deals with the operations on arrays, and pandas for analyzing the big data, and matplotlib for visualization, and sklearn where you have ML algorithms. So we'll just quickly look into how to use the help tab. So help tab is available on the right side top window. So it has different documentations present in it. So go to the search bar and just give any of the library like NumPy, and you will get all the documentation that is related to NumPy. You can just read it and learn from here. So you have already learned data types, right? You know data types, right? What is a data type? A bit louder. Sorry? Okay. Yeah. So I'll just quickly refer to them because you've already studied in C as well. So we have some basic data types like Boolean, which gives us true and false. Integer, which has all positive and negative numbers included in them. And complex numbers has real and imaginary parts with them. And a float has floating point numbers. And a string is a sequence of characters. So make a note that sequence of characters doesn't only mean that it has only alphabets in it, but it also includes all these symbols and numbers too. And then coming to operators and operands. So rather than going to some technical definitions, we'll just simply see that a plus or any other symbol can be treated as an operator, and A and B would become the operands. So here are the different operators we have already learned. So the first type of operator would be the arithmetic operator that is used to perform mathematical operations between two operands. And the assignment operator is to check the inequalities and equalities between two variables. And logical operator is used basically when there are conditional statements. And bitwise operator it takes the integers as a stream of bits and compares them bitwise. So we would look into what is precedency and associativity here. So precedency is like the highest priority, which operator is given the highest priority. So in this table, parenthesis is given the highest priority and it goes down that way. And associativity comes when you have, in a statement, suppose you have same operands with same priority. So you would go for associativity, either by taking them from left to right or right to left.
Okay, so we are done with the basic data types. Now let us see what sequential data types are. Give me a second, I'll open my PDF. Um, okay, so in Python, any ordered collection of objects whose contents can be accessed via indexing is called a sequential data type. Okay, let me zoom it. Are you able to see it at the last? Louder. Hello, you can hear me now? You can't hear me yet? So basically in Python, any data container which is ordered and whose values can be accessed through indexing is a sequence. There are three sequence data types. They are lists, tuples, and strings. We are also going to see about the dictionaries, arrays, and range in this PDF. So basically, a string is a sequence of characters which is placed in between double quotes or a single quote. Tuples are the sequence of compound data which are stored in the curve braces. The lists are the sequence of multi-data type which is non-homogeneous, which is stored in the square braces. And the next is a dictionary. Dictionary is basically stored in the key value pairs. You can access an element in a dictionary by using the key. Next are the arrays. The arrays are the sequence of constrained list of objects. They are homogeneous, which means they only contain a single data type. Next are the sets. Sets are the unordered collection of data. You cannot place duplicates in the sets. Next is the range. I guess you have all heard about the range function. We mainly use it in looping. Like for I in range, you can give three parameters over there. The first parameter is the starting value. The second parameter is the ending value. And the third parameter would be the step range. Okay, so we'll be just quickly seeing the initializing part of each of the data types. For the string, you can initialize it by using the single quotes, which is shown like over here. This fine now? Okay, so next we are going to initialize the list. Basically, you can initialize the list by using the list keyword or else just by placing the elements in the square braces as shown over here. So in list, as it is non-homogeneous data type, we can store multiple data types at once in a single list. For example, over here you can see integer as well as strings are stored at once. Next, let us see the array data type. In Python, for initializing an array, first you need to import the library. So we are going to import it like from array import star, which means we are importing all the modules from the array library. Next, we are initializing it. Okay. Is this clear now? Okay, thank you. So for an array, for initializing it, we need to mention it as array of. So the first parameter over here is, you can see like I, which is a data type. I means the integer. Next, we are going to give the list of values, which we are going to store in the array. So we have given over here 1, 2, 3, 4. So for accessing these elements, we'll be using a symbol for loop. For x in the variable array sample, we are printing the x value, and the array elements are printed out over here. Next, let us see the tuple initializing. The I over there is the data type. I means integer. So for declaring an array in the Python, you need to also mention the data type, or else an error will be raised. So this is a basic syntax, array of data type, comma, the elements. Yes, as you can see over here, for float it is F, and for long float it is D. Next, let us see the tuple example over here. Tuple is also a non-homogeneous data type. You can store multiple types of data in the same tuple. For example, over here, integer as well as strings are stored over here. And there are two ways you can initialize the tuple. The first is by using the curve braces over there, and the second is by simply separating the elements by a comma, and you just do it as variable equal to elements separated with commas. This will also create a tuple. Next, let us see the dictionary. Uh, for initializing a dictionary, you will be using flower braces, and you need to store the elements of the dictionary in a key value pair, which are separated with a semicolon. Sorry, colon. So one is a key over here, and the first is the value of the key, which is one. Next, for accessing the elements, basically you need to give the dictionary of the particular key. So if you give it as dictionary of first, then one will be printed out on the screen. Next, let us see the set example. For initializing a set, we'll be also using the flower braces, but the difference between a dictionary and a set is that you'll not be placing them in a key value pairs. And in a dictionary, sorry, in a set, no duplicates are allowed. So here, as you can see, the data is repeated twice, the data string, but in the output, when it's printed, only data is given as once, because the duplicates are not allowed. And the order of elements is also changed because a set is unordered. Next, let us see the range. So as shown below, for accessing the elements in a range function, we just use a simple for loop. And over here, there are three parameters given in the range function. The first is the start value, the second is the end value, and the third is the step value. So as the elements are 1, 5, 9, as we have given the start value as 1, the first element is 1. Then as we have given the step value as 4, the element is increased by 4. So 1 plus 4 equal to 5. So the next element is 5. So and the next element is 9, which is 5 plus 4. And since we have given the stop range as 12, if we add 9 plus 4, it's 13. It's exceeding the stop range. Therefore, the only elements in the range are 1, 5, and 9. Sorry. Camera. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Now we are going to see the sequence data operations. Basically, we are going to see about indexing. Yes. Let me zoom out so that you can see the entire thing. Okay. Is this fine? Yeah. Yeah. So next, let us see the sequence data operations. We'll be seeing about indexing and slicing. So basically, indexing is nothing but you need to, like, it's a way to access a particular element from a sequential data type. So as you can see over here, the syntax is object.index of the value. And for string indexing, we have created a simple variable name string sample equal to learning, and we have given it as string sample dot index of L. So what this does means it gives us the index value of the element L, which is nothing but 0. Okay, so as the index values always start from 0 and 0 to n minus 1. So the index value of L over here is 0. And the next thing is we are going to give a set of the substring. So we just give it as string sample dot index of ning. So it will be coming as the output. The first occurrence of that particular substring will be the output. So as we can see over here, the index position of ning is 4. For L is 0. So counting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4 is the index position of ning. So 4 is printed out. Next, we are accessing the value at a particular index. So there's a small difference between the previous thing and the next thing which we are going to see. Here we are accessing the index of a particular element, but over here we are giving the index value and accessing the element itself. So we gave the string sample of 7. 7 is the index value over here, and the element present at the index value 7, it is printed out. So G is printed out. And next you can see that we are using the negative indexing. So negative indexing usually starts from -1, and we count the elements from the end of the element. So for example, over here we have taken it as learning. So the -1th index is nothing but G. So we'll be going as -1, -2, -3 till the starting. So here we have given it as string sample of -2. So the element present over there at -2nd index is nothing but n. So n is printed out. Next, as we see, we have given -9, but the length of the element is 8. There is no ninth element. Therefore, we got an error, index error, string index out of range. Next, let us see the list indexing. So basically, for accessing an element, we'll be using the similar method. List sample of 2. So we'll be getting the element present at index value 2, which is nothing but A over here, 0, 1, 2. A is present at index 2. A is printed out. Next, let us see the array indexing. So after declaring the array, we have done it as array sample of -3, which is the last third element, which is nothing but 2 over here. So 2 is printed out. Next, let us see the tuple indexing. It is similar. As we have seen before, we'll be using dot index of py. If you give us dot index, then we'll be getting the index value of the element py, and over here it is nothing but 5. So 5 is printed out. Next, we are trying to access an element which is present at second index. So over here the second index position element is 3. Therefore 3 is printed out. Next, we are using the set indexing. As we have said that set is unordered, we cannot be using any kind of indexing for the set, as we'll be getting random values each time we execute it. Therefore, here you can see when we try to print the element at a certain index, we are getting the error as set object is not subscriptable since it's not ordered. And next, we are trying to access elements of a dictionary using indexing. We can't be using indexing for a dictionary as well. Instead, we'll be accessing the elements using its keys. So first we are trying to see by using its index. So we just gave it as dicta sample of 2. So at the second index, if we generally see, it's 3, right? So usually we think that 3 should be printed out, but that's not the case. The dictionary usually take the keys for printing out its values. So there is no key element named 2. Therefore, there's a key error 2. Next, we are trying to take another example for dictionary itself. So here we gave the dictionary of 1, and as we can see that there is the key named 1 over there, and its value is first. Therefore, first will be printed out. Okay, next let us see the indexing for the range. So for we have initialized the range first, then we have tried to access the index of the element 0, but as you can see there is no element 0 in the range, therefore we got a value error over here. Next we are trying to access the index of the element 9. 9 is present in the range, so its index is printed out, which is nothing but 2. Next we are trying to access the first index value, so we gave it as range of 1, therefore the value present at index 1 will be printed out, which is nothing but 5. Next, we gave it as the range of 9. So, be mindful that we are trying to give the index value over here, not the element value. So, since there are only 3 elements present in the range, we are getting an index error, index out of range. Next, this is one of the most important things, which is nothing but slicing. Do you guys know slicing? Have you heard about it before? About slicing? Okay, so I guess not. So for slicing, you are basically trying to get the sub elements of a complete variable. So for example, there are 10 elements in the variable, but you are only accessing, but you only need 3 elements of those 10 elements. Then you can use slicing operations to access those 3 elements. So let us see how it is done. We can either use the slice function or else directly use colon to do the slicing operation. So when we use the slice of 4, then basically you can see that if you remember previously in the string sample, we stored learning. So when we do slice of 4, then the first 4 elements will be printed out on the screen, LEAR. And next we are giving few parameters in the slicing function. Slice of 1 comma 4 comma 2. 1 is nothing but the starting range, 4 is nothing but the ending, and 2 is the step value. It is similar to the range function. Next, we are trying to use the colon and print out the entire string over here. Since we have not given any starting or ending parameter over there, the entire string will be printed out. Next, we are given a few specific parameters over here, which is nothing but -3 and -1. If you remember the list, they were like 1, 2, 3, A, Sam, and another element over there. So the -3rd element is nothing but A, and the -2nd element is Sam. Over here, you need to keep in mind that the end index value will not be printed out on the screen. So the element at the -1th index position will not be printed. Only -3 and -2nd index position elements will be printed out, which is nothing but A and Sam. Okay, so slicing also doesn't work on dictionaries since it's not a sequential data type. Next, it doesn't also works for sets. Since sets are unordered, it also doesn't work on sets. Next, we are trying to do slicing operation on range. So, as you can see over here, we are accessing the elements from the starting till the -1th index. So if you print it, the output is range of 1 comma 9 comma 4. Next is concatenation. I hope you all know concatenation. If you guys know what is concatenation, we can skip it and go to the next part. Okay, so I'm hearing yes. So I'm going to the next part. So multiplication, I hope you guys know how to multiply a particular sequence as well. By multiply, I mean that we'll be basically doubling it or multiplying it with a particular element. There are two types you can multiply. If you multiply with the entire variable, it practically when you multiply it with 2, it doubles it. If you multiply with 3, it triples it, and so on. But if you want to multiply with a single particular element of a list, we have given it as list of 1. The first index element 2 is present, therefore 2 into 2, nothing but 4. 4 is printed out. Similarly, when you try to multiply with a string, so at the second position, over here, a string is present, which is nothing but a. So when you multiply a into 2, a will be printed out twice. The output is nothing but a and a. Next, this is the multiplication of a tuple. We are first accessing certain elements of a tuple by doing the slicing operation and then multiplying it 2. So those particular elements are printed out twice. So 3, 4 are the sliced elements and we are trying to multiply it with 2. Therefore 3, 4 are printed twice. And over here, next we are accessing a certain element from the tuple and dividing it with 4. So the first element over there is nothing but, I guess, in the tuple we have given it as 2. Therefore 2 by 4 is nothing but 0.5. So 0.5 is printed out. Similarly, within array, we are trying to multiply the entire array variable with 2. Therefore the array is doubled. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is printed out. Next, we are trying to multiply with 3. Similarly, when a string is multiplied with 3, it's printed out thrice, learning, 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 as you can see over there. So this is the end of the operations. Next, I guess we can continue with NumPy and Pandas. I guess for the AI department, we have already learned what are NumPy and Pandas, and we have seen different visualization tools. But I guess the other departments don't have this in their curriculum, so we'll be seeing it right now. I would like to hand over the stage to Sanjana. She'll be discussing with you guys about Pandas as well as NumPy.
సో అందరూ సెషన్ వింటున్నారా?
I'll ask them questions.
సో ఓకే, ద నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్ మీరు ఏమనుకుంటున్నారు? ద టాపిక్స్ ఆర్ మెషిన్ లెర్నింగ్, డీప్ లెర్నింగ్. సో నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్స్ ఏదైనా సరే స్టూడెంట్స్కి ఇష్టంగా, అంటే స్టూడెంట్స్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ప్రకారంగా A2I క్లబ్ నడుద్దామని. సో విల్ బి గివింగ్ యూ ఈవెన్ గూగుల్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్. సో ఇప్పుడు మీరేమంటారు? నెక్స్ట్ మెషిన్ లెర్నింగా, డీప్ లెర్నింగా? యా ఓకే. సో ఇది ఈ సెషన్స్ అనేది ఎవ్రీ వీక్ జరుగుతూనే ఉంటాయి. సో ఇట్ మైట్ బి ప్రాబబ్లీ సాటర్డే హాలిడే అంటే ఫ్రైడే ఈవినింగ్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో ఇదంతా నడిచేది ఓన్లీ స్టూడెంట్స్ బేసిస్ మీద అండ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ, పియర్ టు పియర్ లెర్నింగ్ కోసం. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Anybody has an idea what NumPy is? If you have listened to the session, the first part what I've said, you would have known what NumPy is. What is it? What? I can't hear. No, there is something else to it also. Yeah, it's a library. How do you get that library? Okay, we'll look into what NumPy actually is. It stands for numerical Python. So it is a very powerful library of Python where we deal with the different operations available in it, and we deal them on arrays. We will. So NumPy arrays, they are like a grid of values, all of the same type, that is indexed by tuple non-negative integers. So that is a basic definition of NumPy. And why do we use NumPy when there are other data types available? You have arrays, but why for NumPy arrays? The first thing would be it is efficient. So NumPy arrays, they are containing, like, they take or consume lesser space and than the lists or any other arrays. It is so, since it is taking lesser space, it is less. It takes less time to get executed. There are also standard mathematical functions for fast operation on the entire arrays of data without having to write in, like, you need not write any loops. You can simply give the numpys. So let us see how you create an array first. You've already seen creation of array before, right? Stop using your phones and start listening. You will get to know something. So how do you create an array normally? You know how you create an array in Python? How? How? Someone? Except for Shilpa ma'am. So blank faces, I'll teach you how it is. So you just take a list of values and that list itself will be considered as an array. So what if you want to create an NumPy array? You would first import the package called as NumPy, and we are using an NP variable to take it as the reference of the entire library. Array, the variable is given and equal to numpy.array. You use this method, and in parenthesis itself you are giving what variable should be converted into the NumPy arrays. So simply when you execute it, you get a list of NumPy arrays. There are different methods that you can do. The first one would be to know what type of array it is. So as you can see, we have used the type method and we got it as of class numpy.nd arrays. And the next one is to find the length of an array. You simply give the len method to get the length of the array, that is 6, since you have 6 elements in it. And end would give you what dimension it is. So since it is single dimension, it is given the output as 1, and the shape would give the shape of the array. Next one is to reshape it. So reshape is generally used when you want a different type of output. So it's like before you had an array which is single dimensional with 6 elements in a single row. So now you're gonna make it with 3 rows, 2 columns, and the dimension as well changes. So we have taken reshape of 3 comma 2. So we have got 3 rows and 2 columns in it. And coming to different NumPy attributes, we've already seen we have seen reshape. Now this is shape. The shape method would simply give you what is the shape of the array that you have created. So in this case, it has 2 rows and 3 columns, so it is printed as 2 comma 3 here. A similar way, shape and reshape. And so you have used an arrange method where you're gonna get where you have given 24 in the parenthesis. So this method generally gives you 24 numbers in sequential order, and the dimension is again 1. So numpy.itemSize, this is an array attribute that returns the length of each element of an array in bytes. So as you can see, we have created an array with 5 elements in it, and you have given the data type to be int8. The data type of int8, the size of it is generally 1. So when you have taken it as x dot item size, it got printed as 1. And similarly for float, we are getting 4 as the data type. 4 is the size of the data type. The next method is we are trying to convert the elements which are in int data type to float. So you simply use np.float64. So you get it as 1 point, 2 point, which is a floating number. And we will now go into the arithmetic operators. We'll compare between the normal arithmetic operators and what are available in NumPys. The first one is print x plus y, which is normally the addition operator we have used here. But in numpys, there is a method called as np.add x comma y, which would give the same output. And same for subtraction, np.subtract x comma y, same output again. Multiplication, also we get the same, but here the next thing we have is dot product. The dot product simply is like it's done between two vectors, and you would get a scalar as the output. And the next one is division. Same, we use the divide method here, and you can see that we have used the sum in three different ways. First is to sum of x. It would simply add all the elements and give you. And the next is x axis equal to 0. That would give sum of each and every column, the elements in each and every column. And when axis is set as 1, then it would give the sum of each row. And the next library we'll be discussing is Python, pandas. Yet after NumPy, pandas is another library available in Python, especially for data analysis. It is used for working on relational or label data. So this library generally contains two data structures, namely series and data frames. We would discuss about both of them. If you want to import it, just use the import keyword and get the library. First one is the series data structure. It is a one-dimensional labeled array. It's capable of holding any type of data type like integer, float, or any other Python object. So it looks like a column that is taken out from a table. This is how it looks. We'll now see how to create the series. The first way would be, first you have to import the pandas library as usual and take a list of elements. And for creating a series, we use the method called as pd.series, and in parentheses we would give the variable, and it would convert the entire list of elements into a series, and it's of the data type int. And the next method we would be seeing is using the numpy arrays. Yeah. So we have imported the pandas and also the numpy, since you are using those arrays here. And you have used the method np.array to create the numpy arrays. And similarly, again, the pd.series method to create the series. This is how the output gets displayed. Hope you're understanding, right? Okay. The third method would be using a dictionary. So you know what is dictionary? Okay. It is a data type which has key and values together separated with a colon. So the first one here would be the key name. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 would be the key names, and their corresponding values spells of PYTHON. And you have taken the dictionary here and again use the pd.series method to convert the dictionary into your series. And this is how the output looks with the data type object. And the second data structure that we would like to discuss is data frames. Data frames is a two-dimensional structure that is having labeled axes, rows, and columns. It can also be considered as a collection of series together. We'll try to see now how to create a data frame. The first method is by using a dictionary of lists. Here you have a dictionary where the values are a list of values. So you create, so for creating your data frame, you use the method called as pd.dataframe with D and F capital, and in parentheses give the dictionary. So the output would be something like the key names of the dictionary would be taken, and that would be set as the column names, and the corresponding values would be given as the entries of the data frame. The second method is using a list of dictionaries. So here in this variable, we have stored a list which contains a set of dictionaries. And you have again similarly used the pd.dataframe method to convert them. And you got the output. So what you have to observe is again here, the key name of the dictionary has been taken as the column names in the data frame, and the corresponding values are entered. Okay, the third method of creating a dictionary, this is kind of very interesting. What we do is we take the list, convert them to series first, and then convert the series to uh, data frames. So, like I've said, data frame can be considered as a collection of series. That is what we'll see here. So, import the library, and we have taken two variables which has a set of elements in it, author and article. We have converted both these lists into series by using pd.series method. And the next is we have taken the frame variable and we have created a dictionary out of these two series, where author is the key name of the first key and the article is the key name of the second key. So the resultant would be like we have used the pd.dataframe method and we have converted the dictionary into the data frame. So the output is this, what you can see here. Again, it's the same. Whatever key names are taken are given here as the column names and the corresponding values are entered. Now we would discuss about the common attributes that are available in series and data frames as well. Yes. No, sir. You can directly take the series and convert it, but yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll discuss the common attributes that are there for a series and a data frame. We'll discuss all these of them in this code. So we have taken a dictionary which contains a dictionary inside another dictionary. So this is the first key and this is the second key which has another dictionary inside it. And we have tried to convert it into a data frame. And first we're trying to print the index of it. So the df.index method, what it does is it collects all the indices of the data frame and it would print it. As you can see here, name, age, and gender are taken as the indices because the inner dictionary's key names would be considered as the indices. And when you try to print the columns, the outer dictionary's key names would be taken as the column names. So here, sales and marketing would be printed. This is the output. And for printing the size, for getting the size, we use df.size method. That usually gives the number of elements in the data frame. So you can see here Sham 23, male, Neha 22, female are available. So that counts to 6. So you got the size as 6. And going to the next attribute is the D types. That is nothing but getting the data types. We are trying to print the data types of the entire data frame. So since it is a mixture of integers and strings also, we have got the data type as a Python object. And the last thing we would see here is the df.shape. Yes, ma'am. It would create a new field. That would go for the column name. The outer dictionary would go for the column name, and the inner dictionary's key names would be given as the indices. Hmm. Index, sir. Label. Indices. Hmm. Key names.
Changes the index as per the key. So basically, the key value is the index value. So when we are printing the indexes, all the keys are printed out. So if you change the key, then the index will also be changed.
That would be null and the.
If you are updating the data frame, then it will be replaced.
Mm.
If you are adding another row over there, then it will be printed as additional one.
Show the output. Show the output if we have. Then
I'll tell you more.
And instead of naming the those will be yes. Yeah.
So the last attribute is df.shape. Df.shape would, we have already discussed before, like it would give the shape of the number of rows and columns. So since here we have created 3 columns and 2 rows, it would display as 3, 2. So there are different file formats available in Python, but we would be like commonly using these: CSV file, which stands for common comma separated values; JSON file for JavaScripted object notation; and XLS file, which is nothing but a spreadsheet file. So we'll just look deeper into CSV file a bit, because CSV is a good type of formatting file which is easy to export and use. It comes with a .csv extension. It contains the records of data where the values are separated by commas. Since it is easier to handle, we have selected this type of format. So the CSV file would generally look like this, where the values are separated by commas. Now we'll try to read a CSV file. So for reading a CSV file, we use read underscore CSV method and give the name of the file in single quotes or double quotes. That the read underscore CSV file would simply take the file and read it and convert it into a data frame and print, and you can print it. So this is how it looks, with A, B, C as the column names and the rest are the values. So there is another method to read a CSV file without the read underscore CSV method. What we have to do is you have to import the CSV library, and you can open the file using the open method and give the file name in the parenthesis. And we use the reader iterator and the csv.read method to read the lines. And we have used here the for loop to print the entire data that is available in the file. So we have got the output with a list of values in it. So reading part of the CSV is done. So how to write into it? So we'll look into this example and get to know. We have taken 3 variables. Each variable contains a set of elements. We have converted those 3 variables and into dictionaries by giving the key names to it. And that dictionary is again converted into data frame using the pd.dataframe method. So what you can see here, this is what the data frame actually looks like. And to write this data frame onto the CSV file, we use the to underscore CSV method, and we have given the file name. So this to underscore CSV, what it does is it takes the data frame, converts it into the CSV file, and puts into the file. Next is, okay, we have seen the first method. Like before we have discussed, there are 5 stages in the data science process. So reading of data is done, you get your data, everything is done. The second method is processing the data. That is, now we look into like on top how to handle the missing data. We use these functions called as drop NA and fill NA. So for missing values, we generally have NaN as the representation, which stands for not a number. So first is drop NA. So this is what your data frame actually looks like. You can observe that some of the entries are NaN, right? You can see NaN, right? Some are sleeping. You can see NaN, right? Yeah. So by using dot drop NA method, you can simply drop all the NaN values. You can see the difference here. Before Purnima consisted NaN, Ram had NaN and this entire row was NaN, but all the NaN values were dropped and you got a proper data frame. To go much deeper into this method, you can also use the drop NA of how equal to all and axis equal to 1. So what this would do is it would delete all the rows which contains the NaN values. So probably this fifth row would be deleted and rest all would be displayed. The next method is to fill NA. So this is quite opposite to the before method. In before method, we have tried to drop the missing values and now we are trying to fill them. So this is how the data frame looks and you're using the method dot fill NA of 0. So wherever you have the NN value, that value is replaced with a 0. You can see here. And then there is a special method in fill NA also, that is ffill. If we use ffill, what it does is, wherever you have the NN value, that would be replaced with the value which is right about it. So you can see, Jitendra had 210.0 here and then Purnima had none. Since you have used ffill here, the same value what Jitendra had, the same value has come for Purnima too. In that way, the entire values are replaced or filled. So, okay, missing of values is done. We'll get into visualization. The first library we would be discussing for visualization is the matplotlib. It is a library in Python that enables users to generate visualizations. With the help of other library, it is actually created on the basis of numpys and pandas. Here we can create histograms, scatter plots, bar graphs, pie charts, or any other kind of visualization. We'll get into how to plot some of them. So this is how generally a line plot looks. For this, you have to import your matplot library and the numpys too. What we have done here is we have taken a variable and we have given the numpy arrays and we have used the plt.plot method that is basically used to plot any of the graph, and we have given the data source from where like what you want to plot, and the line style is given as dotted. The line style and color are completely for your customization. You can use dotted, dashed, or a normal line, anything, and color can be given as your own choice. And plt.show method is used to display your plot. So this is how the line plot looks. I hope everyone is understanding, right? So the second plot we would discuss is a bar plot. Again, get your matplotlib and numpy to be imported, and we have taken two variables here, both are numpy arrays, and we have simply used the plt.bar method and given the variables to plot. Again, you can customize it however you want, and plt show gives you the output. Scatter plot, it's similar to the bar plot again. You take your arrays and use the plt.scatter method. And for a change, we have also customized the color over here and we have shown it to get it displayed onto the screen. This is how a scatter plot looks. Okay, this is something interesting we have used in numpy arrays here. It says x equal to, so the x variable is storing numpy arrays which are randomly generated dot normal of 170, 10 and 250. So what does that mean? That means we have created 250 arrays which are of standard deviation 10 and of normal distribution 170. So you can again do however the way you want to get your desired outputs. And we have used the plt.hist method to get the histogram, and we have shown it again for the display. So this is how a histogram looks. Next is Seaborn. So you might get a doubt like there is already matplot, why are we going for Seaborn? Seaborn is basically more aesthetically pleasing and it is statistically sophisticated. So it is much better than matplotlib. You can use any of them, but it is also built on top of matplotlib, so it generally contains all things of matplotlib, pandas, and numpys. It is basically, I treat it as the best way for visualization. So coming to see how to do line plots in matplot, sorry, not matplot, in Seaborn. So here we have imported the C1 library and matplot library as well. And here the variable that we are referring to is SNS. So we have set it as sns.load dataset. So C1 contains already in some of the inbuilt datasets in it. So one of them is iris. So to get that, so this iris basically contains of different data related to the iris flower, its measurements, how does it look, the petal shape and all of that. And the load dataset would basically get the already existing dataset from the library. And we are using here dot line plot method, and we have already given the x, like the x column and the y column and the data as the data source, and we're showing it. The difference with Seaborn and matplotlib is you might have observed that when you have given when you have given your values, it doesn't display your x-axis and y-axis, but C1 does it automatically. There are some special advantages with it. And the next one is the bar plots. So here also we have taken the loaded dataset Titanic, which contains all the information or the passenger information of the members who got into Titanic. That is what they say. So we have used the dot bar plot method and given the x ticks and y ticks, and we have taken the data source. We are trying to print it. So this is how a bar plot would generally look. So yeah, you can again customize it however you want using adding more attributes into the bar plot method. Scatter plot. Okay, we have okay. Cbond.set is a method that is used to set your like it is also again for customization. So we have set the style to be white grid. So this is how it appears, like with grids divided on it. And into this variable, we have taken this data set called as fMRI, and we have loaded it again and used the direct method scatter plot, and we have given the x-axis values, y-axis values, and the data. So this is how a scatter plot looks. Similarly, we'll also see how to create a histogram using Seaborn. So we have imported NumPy's pandas also here, and we have loaded the dataset penguins, and we have used .hist plot method, and we have given the data and and also the x-axis values, and we've printed it. So this is how the output or a histogram looks like. Okay, we'll look into how to add legends. So legends are actually default for some of the some of the methods that are there in Seaborn. Unlike for matplot, you need to add legends every time if you want it, but Seaborn has within them for some of the functions. Like for line plot, we already have a legend. So since previously we have created a line plot for a single line, like for a single column or data. So here we have tried to give two different sets of values, and we have taken the line plot of it. So you can see that there are two lines appearing. So the Seaborn library has automatically taken this to be one to be dotted and one to be a normal line. So this is what a legend looks like, which is on right side the top. That is basically for categorization of different elements available on the plot. That's it. Now Monish will continue about the case study on data science. Thank you.
Okay, so till now you have seen all the basic tools which are required for doing the data science. Now comes the main part. We are going to see two cases over here. Uh, you guys need a break? Okay, so please be back over here by in 10 minutes. You can have a break now. And attendance will be taken again, so please make sure that you come back and don't leave. You can have a break now.
సార్ అది పీపీటీ సపోర్ట్ ప్రాబ్లం వస్తుంది.
Which data sets like you are following parallelly? Okay. Next thing you can ask hands-on. Actually, this is not hands-on. Delivering the lecture. If you are doing hands-on, you can also do it parallel. So you give us suggestions for the next session. Any suggestions for the next session? How you would like us to conduct the next session? You can come and talk to us, give your suggestions. Okay, 100% is good, then you can pick that. We'll do the same thing. You can give your suggestions for the next session, the topics you would like to listen.
ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ
ಫೋನ್ ఒకటే వాల్యూమ్ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది కొత్త ఫిల్టర్ రేటు ట్రై చేసి దీని బాగుంది ఫిల్టర్ ఫిల్టర్ ఏముంటుంది
సంజన సంజన ఈ జూమ్ కాదా రైట్ సైడ్ అది కాదు ఏం పెట్టా
Ctrl+.
అది రా నేను ట్రై చేసిన
Ctrl+ ఇది పెట్టాలి శుద్ధి.
ఇప్పుడు తీసి అవుతుందా అక్కడ అవుతుంది ఇది ఓకే కదరా దీనికంటే పెద్ద కొంచెం ఇది పెద్ద ఇది పెద్ద అంతేనా
చెప్పేది బాగానే స్టూడెంట్స్ అటెన్షన్ తీసుకోవట్లేదు.
మీరు
ఎట్లా తీసుకోవాలి హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ఎట్లా తీసుకోవాలి బట్
డిక్టేటింగ్ ఎగురుతుంది కదా అక్కడ దూసాడు ఎంతమంది అంటారు
పీపీటీ
అంటే ఐ వాజ్ డిక్టేటింగ్ బికాస్ ఎవ్రీవన్ ఐ నో లిటరల్లీ ఎవ్రీవన్
మరి నువ్వు అట్లా
కావాలని చెప్పి వాళ్ళని పంపించినట్టుంది.
వాళ్ళని వచ్చారు వచ్చిన
అదే ఓపెన్
మన క్లాస్
ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ ఉంది
వచ్చారు కదా వెనకాల యాక్చువల్లీ
that guy was asking doubts when hands on చేస్తున్నాడు
అదే అన్నాడు ఆయన
అది శిల్ప మ్యామ్ ఏమన్నారంటే ఇది అయిపోయిన తర్వాత whoever wants them they'll refer అనేసి
ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ దాకా మొత్తం ఫోటోస్ ఫార్వర్డ్ ఇస్తుంది ఇది కూడా వస్తుందా ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ ఎట్లా ఎస్కేప్ ఫోటో మానేసి ఇంకెంత ఏం చేసినారా ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ మోడ్ ఇందులో ఎక్కడ ఉంది రాదు ఇప్పటిదాకా సంజయ్ లాస్ట్ సంజయ్ పాట జరా పైగా బాబు దాని ట్రై పెట్టాను ఉన్నాను పెట్టి
మీరు మాట్లాడదు
ఏం చేయలేము దాని గురించి.
ఏం చేస్తుంది
లెట్ ఇట్ బి.
వెళ్ళొస్తుందా ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి వాడికి ఇది కావాలి awesome.
అది బ్యానర్ డిస్ప్లే వీడియో
యూఎస్బి ఇది అంతే, నాట్ హెచ్డిఎంఐ. ఓకే, ఇది కెమెరా, ఇది కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాము. సో కెమెరా దీనికి వస్తుందా ఇప్పుడు?
కెమెరా అనేది
ఆ కెమెరా నుండి ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది?
ఓబిఎస్కి
అవుట్పుట్
వెళ్తుంది.
ఎలా?
ఇది కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం కాబట్టి ఇన్పుట్ ఇట్లా వచ్చేది ఓబిఎస్కి వెళ్తుంది డైరెక్ట్.
ఓబిఎస్ ఇందులో ఉందా?
ఈ కెమెరా వాడకుండా ఆ కెమెరా వాడతాం.
దాంట్లో ఏమన్నా మళ్ళీ నొక్కాలా ఓబిఎస్లో?
ఓబిఎస్లో ఇక్కడ ఇవి రెండు యాడ్ చేస్తాం. వీడియో
సోర్సెస్.
క్యాప్చర్ ఇంకా డిస్ప్లే క్యాప్చర్.
డిస్ప్లే అంటే వీడియో అంటే కెమెరా, డిస్ప్లే అంటే ఇది కూడా స్క్రీన్ కూడా. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు ఆడియో?
లైవ్కి వెళ్తుంది సార్. ఆడియో అనేది కేబుల్ పెట్టాం కదా మనము, సో డైరెక్ట్ పాజ్ మనం తర్వాత ఎడిటర్స్కి వచ్చింది.
లైవ్ పుట్ ఆఫ్ ద స్పీకర్.
ఇన్పుట్ ఆడియో
mute, can you mute this one? Desktop audio, can we mute this one? Still this is what
అఖిల్ ఫంక్షన్ F11 తో అయితలే నార్మల్ ఇక్కడ
వ్యూ
Guys, we are going to start now. Please call your friends so that we can start. We'll be starting in next 2 minutes, so please inform your friends to come back.
అది ఫుల్ స్లైడ్ ఆఫ్ చేయను అయితే స్లైడ్ షో వాళ్ళు వస్తాను అనుకుంటా ఇప్పుడు చూడు వస్తున్నాం
మూవీ వీడియో
జస్ట్ 2 minutes ఉంటుంది అంతే 2 minutes చేంజ్ చేస్తుంది 2 minutes స్ప్రెడ్ అయిపోతుంది వాళ్ళ కనబడాలి ఎట్లా అనేనా జూమ్ చేయాలి
So let's go into the first. Let us see what are the different steps involved in the data science process. So the different steps in the data science process are nothing but first we'll be collecting the raw data from different sources. So this raw data contains many null values, or it is basically unprocessed. So we'll try to make this data processed by removing all these null values or by filling these null values with some another value over there. Next, after doing this processing, we'll be seeing about exploratory data analysis. Basically, what this is means we'll be using various graphs to see relation between two or more variables. Sorry, the recording is not possible if you have full screen. So in exploratory data analysis, we can do anything we want to look for insights from the data. The basic method is using graphs so that we can visually see what's the relation between each data. You can also use correlation. Next, after doing this exploratory data analysis, we'll be feeding this data into a model or an algorithm. We are going to use sklearn library for accessing these algorithms. sklearn is a popular machine learning library. It contains various algorithms such as linear regression or KNN, etc. So in the real world, after making this model, we need to present this to the customer, right? So here comes the communication visual report. Over here, we'll be showing the different insights which we found while doing the exploratory data analysis. So we'll be showing all these insights to the customer. And over here, the data product. The data product is nothing but the tool or the model which we have made for predicting something. For example, if you want to predict the house price in a certain area, we'll be making a model for it. And this model is nothing but the data product. When we feed new data to this model, it will generate a new price. So this is how basic data science process is done. We are going to see two different cases in this lecture or this session. The first one problem statement is displayed over here. Basically, let us assume a company named Subsidy Inc. Delivers subsidies to individuals based on their income. So we need to predict the income of a certain individual. We are given past data for this for training the model. So the data is very last set. It almost had 30K values. This data also contains the income, demographic parameters, and few financial parameters, which we are going to see. So basically, we need to develop a classifier system for individuals to classify them if their income is above 50K or else less than 50K. So let's go right into it. Okay, so for doing this, first we need to import few libraries which are required for this particular operation. So we'll be importing pandas with the alias PD. Next, we are going to import NumPy as NP and Seaborn as SNS. And from sklearn, we are going to import train, test, and split module. I'll be explaining what exactly this does in the coming next operations. So after importing this, we are also importing the logistic regression. This is one of the algorithms which we are going to use for classification. And we'll be also using the accuracy score and confusion matrix. These are a few performance metrics which allows us to display the accuracy of our model and help us to know how many wrong predictions we have made and how many correct predictions we have made. Okay, did I import this? Okay, one second. Let me just run it. Okay, this no module. This sklearn. Give me a second. It's showing an error over here. Basically, sklearn should be pre-installed in your Spider console, but apparently there's some it's telling us module not found. No, the sklearn is already inbuilt, so there's no need of installing it. Give me a second. Should I install it again? Because it already present, right? So okay, so let's try it again. Um, okay, let's go ahead using the Google Colab. First, I've imported many libraries such as Pandas, NumPy, Seaborn. From sklearn, I've imported train test split and logistic regression. Have imported from sklearn train test split, logistic regression, as well as accuracy score and confusion matrix. Next will be reading the data. For reading the data, you need to use pd.read csv. Um, First, we need to like upload the data file csv file over here since we are using Colab. Okay. Give me a second, guys. It's uploading. No, it's uploading. So I'm just waiting. Yeah. Okay, it's uploaded. It's fine right now. So next we are going to read the CSV file. So we have done it successfully. Let's try to print it and see what are the which data we have right now. So when you print out uh, data underscore income, which has all the data from the CSV file, you can see that there are 3001 no 31,978 rows and 13 columns. um, Usually it's not physically possible to go through all this data one by one and get insights, so we'll be using few data science methods for doing this, which I'll be showing to you. So after importing, next we are going to make a copy so that we don't change the original variable, the original data. So after creating the copy, uh, basically we try to do the exploratory data analysis now. So this is the important part, guys, so please make sure to listen to this. So first we are going to do data.info. It shows us all the null count and the data types of each column present in the data frame. So you need to make sure that each like data column has its respective data type is matching. So the age cannot be an object type, so you need to keep in mind that you go through all the columns and its data types. So let's see over here, age is an number, so it's fine. Data type is an object, okay. Age type is an object, okay. uh, okay, so all the columns are matching with their data types, so we are fine with that, so we can go ahead now. So next we are going to check if there are any null values present in the data. So when you use is null, then an entire data frame is going to be printed having true or false values. I'll show it to you once. um, so basically the output would be like this: true, false, true, false. You can't really tell that if there are any missing values over there. So basically we are going to write a print statement using dot sum, which will give you exactly number of null values. Okay, wow, so we got no null values in this particular data set. So next we are going to use dot describe and get some more information about the data. Here you can see the count, which is nothing but the total number of values present over there. Next is the mean, which is nothing but the average value of the entire column. Next is the standard deviation. Next is the minimum. This is the minimum value of the age in the entire column. And 90 is the maximum value of age in the entire column. 37 is the medium age, you can see. And the next column is capital gain. So capital gain is something like I hope you guys know the stocks, right? So when people invest in the stocks, if you are having some profit, then it becomes the capital gain. If you are having some loss, then it becomes capital loss. Since not many people usually trend into the stocks, the minimum over here is 0. So that person over there has no interest in stocks, so he did not invest anything. And the maximum value is given over here. Similar to capital loss, and the hours per week is the number of hours the person is working in a particular week, and the mean amount is 40 hours, the minimum is 1 hour, the maximum is 99 hours. That seems kind of like different, so it might be an outlier, so we'll be trying to see in the future like how to fix these outliers. uh, Next we'll be doing the same describe function with using include equal to O, what this does means we'll be having four different values over here, which is nothing the count, unique, top, and frequency. In the data type, in the job type column, there are 9 unique values, and the highest frequency or else the highest occurring value is the private, which has frequency 22,286. Similarly, you can see for the other columns as well. Next, let us see the different values present for each column. Um, okay, so let's just copy this and paste it in the next. Okay, so when you take the column job type and do dot value counts, you will see the different values which are present in the column job type. So here you can see there's a question mark. So this doesn't make a sense, right? So the null values in the column are replaced with the question mark. So we need to replace this question mark. We'll be seeing how to do that in the next coming steps. Next, let us see the occupation column as well. Here also you can see that there are question marks present in the column, so we also need to remove those question marks. I have already seen all the columns, and the other columns doesn't have any special unique characters. Only these two specific columns have unique characters. Therefore, I've shown those to you. Now we are going to see how exactly those question marks are present in the columns. Over here you can see that the question mark has a space before it, like every entry has a space before it, so you need to be like this is one of the important insights which you need to make sure to see, because when you try to remove the question marks from the columns, you have to know that how exactly they are being specified in the column. Therefore the question marks have a leading space, so we need to keep in mind before changing it. So what I'm going to do over here is like I'm going to read the income .csv again, but I have mentioned it as na underscore values equal to question mark. So basically what this does means it will convert all the question marks into null values. So when you execute this, and then again when you try to see the null values, you will see that there are 1809 null values in the job type, and there are 1816 null values in the occupation type, in the occupation column. So previously you have seen that there were no null values. Now you have seen that there are few null values added because of this command. We have replaced all the question marks with the null values. Next, I'm going to make few copies. First thing I'm going to do is drop all the null values and then make a copy of that particular data frame. So after executing this, when you give me 1 second, when you see that, when you try to see the null values present in this particular data frame, you'll see that there are no null values because I've used the drop na function over here to remove all the null values. Next, I want to see the correlation between the columns present. What this correlation does means basically we'll be having.
Hello everyone. So you'll be getting an attendance slip. So the person who had done 2 times signature will be given certificates. Certificates will be given to the persons only when they have 2 signatures beside their name. That means the one before the break and the one after the break. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys have been given certificates. So make sure that you sign that attendance list If you didn't get it, please ask our team members over there. They are giving it to you. So next we are going to see the correlation part. Okay, the thing is, okay, let me just print it now. Print correlation. So here you can see that the correlation between all the columns, different columns. So the correlation always lies between -1 to 1. So if there is a high correlation between two different elements, two different columns, then the value would be almost 1, or else it will be near to 0. We can see that all the values are almost near to 0. There is no really strong correlation between two different columns of the data frame. So next, let us use some visualization tools to check out different insights of the data which we have. First, let us see the different columns which are present in this data frame. So these are the list of the columns present in the data frame. Next, let us make a cross tabulation of the gender column. Okay, so here you can see that 67% of the individuals are male and 32% of the individuals are female in the particular data set. So one of the insights you can draw from this is that the number of males are more than the females. And next, when you try to see the relation between the salary status, which is the main objective, we are trying to predict if the salary of a particular individual is greater than 50k or else less than 50k. So we are trying to see the relation between the salary status and the gender. Okay, over here you have two columns which is greater than 50k and less than or equal to 50k. You can see over here that the percentage of the male is more for having the salary status as greater than 50k, and the women mostly have the salary less than 50k according to the data present over here. So next we are going to see this plot of the age column. Okay, so basically from this particular graph, you can come to a conclusion that the age of the individuals is mostly between 25 to 45. So this is one of the conclusions you can come from this graph particularly. Next, we are going to see the box plot between the age and the salary status. We are always trying to see, like, compare the salary status, because our main objective is to find if the salary is 50k or else less than or 50k or greater than 50k. So here you can see that the individuals having the salary status greater than 50k are between 35 to 45. So the individuals age having between 35 to 45 are having the salary greater than 50k, and the individuals having their age gaps between 25 to 45 have mostly less than or equal to 50k. Here you can see a few dots over here. These are nothing but the outliers. We'll be trying to remove these outliers to make the data more accurate and to make the model more accurate. So we'll be seeing that how to do that in the future steps. Yeah, so here I've written the same conclusions which we have made before. You can see that people having 35 to 50 age are more likely to earn greater than 50k as shown over here, and people having 25 to 35 age are more likely to have less than or equal to 50k. Next, we are going to see the job type relation with the salary status. So over here you can see this is the legend over here which shows you that if the salary status is less than or equal to 50k, it will be printed out in blue color. If it's greater than 50k, it will be printed out in orange color. So one of the conclusions which we can make over here is that the self-employee inc, the people who are working, who are having the job type as self-employee, are like most probably having greater than 50K. The other job types are mostly having less than or equal to 50K. This is one of the insights which we can get from this particular bar graph. Okay, and this is nothing but the cross tabulation of the same data which we have shown in the bar graph below here. You can see that the 55% of people working in the self-employed are having greater than 50K income, which is the highest among all the other job types. Next, we are going to see the education and how this education influence the salary type. Okay, so here from this plot, we can come to conclusions that here you can see that the people who have done the masters are having greater than 50K, and people who have done the professional school are having more than 50K, and also people who are having their doctorate are also having 50K. All the other education types are having less than or equal to 50K. By 50K, I mean their salary status. Over here also you can see that the 74% of the doctorates are having salary greater than or equal to 50K. These are a few small insights you can get from the data. Next, I'm going to see the occupation affecting the salary status. So here also you can get few insights like most of the people who are working as executive managerial occupation are more likely to have greater than 50K, since this is the highest bar when compared to all the other bars. So here you can see even though it's not greater than the blue part of the same occupation, but still when compared to all the different occupations, executive managerial occupation has higher probability of having salary greater than 50K. Next, we are going to see the capital gain and the capital loss too, since we are trying to cover all the columns of this particular data set. Okay, so here you are having a high spike over here near the zero. This is because not all the people are trying to invest their money. So only few people are investing, and those people are getting high capital gain. Therefore, this is an high spike over there. Next, similarly, when you see for the capital loss, since not many are like investing, so you can see there is another high spike over here. So here comes the important part. We're trying to build a model. So before building the model, we are trying to convert all the strings into the numerical types. So here in the column, in the data set in the column salary stat, the values are either less than or equal to 50K or else greater than 50K. So I'm trying to convert these values into numerical values by giving it as zeros or ones. So I'm trying to map. So I created a dictionary over here having the key less than or equal to 50K. Those keys will be mapped into the value 0, and the keys which are having greater than 50K will be mapped to the value 1. So I'm just doing this to build the model. The model mostly takes the numerical values. Therefore, I'm trying to convert all the columns into numerical values. So if I run this, you can see that in the salary stat column, the values are either zeros or ones. So we have successfully converted the strings into the numerical values. Next, we are going to use get dummies. This is an interesting function over here. So what get dummies does is it converts all the strings into numerical values automatically. We don't have to like go through each specific column and convert it ourselves. It automatically does the job for us. What get dummies does means if okay, so let's take the example of occupation over here. There are like multiple occupations over here, right? So what get dummies does is like if a person is working in armed forces, it like takes the value, gives the value as 1 for that armed forces and gives the values for zeros for all the other occupations. What get dummy specifically does means it converts a single column into multiple columns. So these multiple columns are made according to the values. So one single occupation column will be splitted into multiple columns based on its values. So like occupation will be converted into adminal, clerical column, armed forces column, sales column, etc., etc., etc. So if a particular individual is working in sales, then the sales column will be having 1 and all the other columns will be having 0. You could have seen this much better if we use spider, but since there's some problem with spider, I can't really show it to you right now, but I'll make sure to share a screenshot to you guys how exactly it is shown in spider. So when we run this get dummies, we'll be getting a new data frame. Over here, when you try to print the number of columns of this data, give me a second. Okay, let's just store the columns list in a particular variable and then print it. So basically, previously there were only 13 columns, but you can see over here the number of columns have increased exponentially. There are way too many columns to even count over here. This is because the get dummies function has converted a single column into many different columns based on the number of values, unique values present in that certain column. Okay, next we are going to remove the salary status column from the entire data frame. We are doing this because the salary is the dependent variable over here, and this salary is depending on all the different columns present such as age, capital gain, capital loss. So we are trying to divide the features based on independent and dependent variables. So I'm trying to remove the salary status column from all the columns present, and sorry, and after removing the salary status, I'm trying to give the variable y. I'm trying to create a variable y. In data science, we usually try to give the dependent variable as y and independent variables as x. So I'm trying to create an dependent variable over here. So this y contains all the values of the column salary stat specifically. Next, I'm trying to create the variable x, which contains all the independent variables, all the independent columns. So we have successfully created the variable x over here. Next, we are trying to split the data into train and test. So this is important, guys. Please listen. So we have created two variables, namely y and x, right? Y is the dependent variable, x is the independent variable. Now we are trying to feed the model data. For feeding the model data, we'll be trying to divide it into train and test. So basically, the training part of the data will be used to train the model, and the training part will be used to like predict the accuracy of our model, if it's accurate enough or else not accurate, so that we can make some changes to make it more accurate. Over here for the train underscore test underscore split, this is the function. So if you remember in the earlier from sklearn, we have imported and uh, module, namely train test split. So we are using this function right now. So here we have given the input parameters as x comma y. We have like initialized it over here, x comma y. The test size is 0.3. So giving it as 0.3 means the 30% of the entire data is allocated to the test, and the 70% of the data is given to the train. So we'll be using only 70% of the entire data for training our model, and we'll be testing it using the 30% remaining data. And I've given over here random state equal to 0. So what exactly this does means it keeps the data consistent. Like every time you run the train test and split, it takes new values. So we don't want that. So we are trying to give the random state equal to 0. So it takes the same values every time you execute it. So I'm just going to divide the data into train and test data. And over here I'm trying to make a logistic regression variable. Logistic regression is one of the algorithm used for classification. So we'll be using two different classification models. One is k nearest neighbors, the second one is logistic regression. So first we'll be seeing about the logistic regression. We'll be seeing its accuracy, and we'll see that how much differentiable it is from the KNN. So I have created a logistic regression variable over here. So after creating this, I'm trying to fit the training data to this model. So we are basically trying to create this model right now. So I have fitted the data, and okay. So next, this over here array of -10.040. This is nothing but the intercept value. You can also have the coefficients values over here. These are the different coefficients present in the model. Next, we are trying to like predict by using the test data set. Earlier, we have divided the data set into training and testing. We have trained the prediction model. So now we are trying to see its accuracy by using the test data set. So basically, this is the entire prediction column, you can say. So basically, we'll be trying to compare this with the test data set. So when we try to compare it with the test data set, we can see that the accuracy is 83. In data science, specifically when we try to create models, 83% is said to be a really high score, because you like according to the data given, the accuracy will be divided, and 83 is one of the high scores you can get for when you create a model. So we would also like to see that how many predictions we have done wrong. So I have done a small code over here, test y not equal to prediction. This prediction contains all the prediction data type which we have given it over here. So what it does means the number of wrongly predicted values will be displayed over here. So among the all the entire data, we have predicted 1483 samples wrong. So I would say that this is a very small value. When we have compared, like we have taken 30k plus data set, so 1000 is a very small value over here. Next, okay, so previously we have tried to remove the null values, but now we are trying to fill it with some different values and try to see how it differs, like the accuracy, if it's more or else less. So I'm again trying to like initialize the column of the salary stat by mapping it into zeros and ones. We have already done it, but just to make it sure that the values are not changed, I am trying to initialize it again. And next, basically, I've seen the entire data set and seen that there are few insignificant columns present over there. So I'm trying to remove these columns by using the drop function. So basically I've dropped the gender, native country, race and job type, since I have classified these as insignificant and not really needed in our classification model. Again, we are going to use get dummies method to convert the entire strings into numerical data. And next, we are going to see the number of columns, the new columns which are present. We have already done this all this process before, but the only difference is that we have removed specific columns over here. But previously we haven't removed any specific columns. We have used all the columns and done it. And the accuracy over there is 83%, but we are going to see how much accuracy we are going to get when we remove the insignificant data from our data set. So from the features, again, I'm trying to remove the salary status because it is dependent variable. And I'm going to give okay, I didn't copy it. 1 second. Okay, so I'm trying to create a variable named y2. This is the dependent variable, uh, and I'm going to create an variable x2. This is the independent variables. So x2 contains all the columns which are independent, and y2 contains only salary status because the salary status is the only dependent variable. Next, we are trying to split the data again into training and testing data, and given the similar division, 30% to the testing and 70% to the training. And I have mentioned the random state because we don't want new values to be generated each time we run this method. And next, I'm going to fit another logistic regression method. It's similar to the process which we have done before, and I'm trying to give the input to this model over here by using the fit function, and we are giving the training values over here. And next, we are trying to predict the number of wrongly predicted outputs. So when we try to see, when we try to compare from the previous things, like right now, when we remove the insignificant data columns, we got the misclassified sample size 1048. But when we see previously, is the same thing, right? 1483. So you might ask me that the number of misclassified samples have increased by 2. So why exactly we need to remove this particular columns from our data set? Isn't the model giving more accuracy when we keep this particular data inside without removing it? So in the real world, when you're trying to collect data, even by reducing the number of collection part by one column, it reduces the burden to the person who collects it by a lot. Therefore, we are trying to remove this insignificant data parts so that the data collection part would be much easier. Since we are already like we are spoon fed with the data, we can't really see the difference. But when we try to collect the data, even one column missing would make a lot of difference. So we are trying to remove the insignificant data. Okay, so we have seen using the logistic regression classification, but now we are going to see using KNN, K nearest neighbors algorithm. We have already imported all these libraries, but we need to import the KNN classifier. So I am only going to import that specific library. Okay, next I'm going to read it again so that it would be a fresh process to you guys, and we can make like sorry. Okay, seems like we are out of time, so there are like two different things I wanted to discuss with you, which is nothing but the KNN classifier, as well as there was another test case. I've used another data set, and we were planning to do the regression part, but since the time is not sufficient, what I'll do means I'll give you the step-by-step process as well as its what exactly it does. I'll be mentioning over there and send it to you in the group which we have created. I hope everyone is there in the group because I'll be sharing all the notes of today's session over there. If you're not present in the group, you can contact us or else you can contact your friends. They can share the WhatsApp link to you guys. And if you have any doubts, you can drop it over there, or else you can drop it in our Discord channel, which I'll be sharing to you in the same group itself. So I would like to conclude today's session. Uh, we would like to present our vote of thanks now. Now this is done by Rohan. I would like to give the stage to Rohan now.
Hello everyone.
After the vote of thanks, we'll have a photo session, and if anyone is interested to join the club, you can contact us regarding it too.
Hello everyone. I'm Rohan. On behalf of organizing committee of A Square I Club, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for attending this session. Your presence has made this event a success. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to our head of the department, Sir Dr. A. Mallikarjun Reddy sir, for his valuable insights and encouragement that motivated us to organize this session. I would like to extend my thanks to our esteemed faculty coordinator, Victor Daniel sir, for his unwavering support and guidance throughout the event. His efforts were instrumental in making this session a memorable experience for all of us. Last but not least, I would like to thank all my club members who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. I would to make this event possible. Your hard work and dedication are truly appreciated. Once again, thank you for attending this session and making it a grand success. We hope to have your continued support in future endeavors. Thank you for all, everyone.
Have you sent the QR? Akshita. Ask her to send it to Adi. Check. Okay. WhatsApp. Okay. Uh, Guys, please scan this QR code and fill the feedback form for your certificates. Only be generated if and only if you fill this form. So make sure to fill it. Okay, sorry, give me a second. Sorry.